Welcome everyone into the virtual Daytona International Speedway. It's season number 6 of Ron Morris Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder as we get set for playoff racing here in the first week of the playoffs. And we are looking good here tonight. A strong field for 65 laps in the Xfinity Series car. We'll have a stage break at lap number 20 here tonight. As always, 40% fuel. 2 extra sets of tires, no fast repair here tonight. We're under the lights here at Daytona, where it's 82 degrees on the track, and it will be an ambient degrees outside, be 75 degrees. Cloudy 5-mile-an-hour winds as we get set to go green flag racing. Apologies for the slight delay in getting going here tonight, but nonetheless, we are ready to go green here at Daytona with Nathan Harper, Garrett Maines here on the pole as the flag man about to drop the green flag for the first time here tonight. Green flag into the air as the playoffs have started for Ron Morris Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder. Lap number 1 of the Season 6 playoffs in the book as Nathan Harper battles teammate Garrett Maines here in the front of the pack. And what a race this should be here tonight. I did see Matthew Baker on the track as he is on deployment. This will be the first time Matthew Baker has raced in quite a while. We'll see. It looked like he had some technical issues, as did I, getting the broadcast going here tonight. We'll stay up on that and report on that here in a second. But here in the front of the pack, it's Daniel Falkingham, eNASCAR Coke Series driver in the number 39 machine here tonight. He will lead here early at Daytona. And right behind him, Nathan Harper in the number 9. As Falkingham clears down to the bottom in front of the 18 of Wyatt Gray. And as we mentioned, this is the first week of the playoffs here. And we will provide those standings. And we remember a week ago it was Mike Davenport on the outside looking in, as Trevin Ashronoff of the Jack Shack as currently sits in the 10th position at a walk-off, as you would call it here in baseball normally, but a walk-off here in racing, as a win was the only way he would move on into the playoffs. And there's the 89 going for a championship here in RMR. All right, we are back here at Daytona. I want to apologize. Power went out, power flickered on or off, and then back on. Took a while to get the internet back as it had a reboot, and I had to fix a network adapter for some reason, the computer. So internet took a while to come back. We are, for some reason, without logos in the top left, bottom left of the screen. This is RMR Tuesday Night Thunder, and of course, this had to happen during the first week of the playoffs. Never has happened to me before. Been broadcasting for quite a while here now, and first time power went out and was having a great intro, I felt, to the race and got in the flow, and fortunately missed a third of the race here tonight. But we're back here. We're going to be okay here without those logos. We'll possibly get them up if we have another yellow flag, but we are past the stage break of tonight's race. We'll bring Ron Morris Jr. in here shortly, and we'll get an update on that stage break. But as I was going into before, this is the playoffs. So this is week 1 of season number 6 playoffs. I do have a generator, but it didn't even kick on because the power had gone out and then right back on. So that did not matter at all. So it was more so by the time it got rebooted, the internet adapter, my Ethernet was just not working, so I had to fix that one. But here we go, 26 of 65 here in the books. Nick Seipel to the lead here at Daytona, and we are going to pull up those playoff rankings here. It is Malik Ray coming in on the top of the leaderboard to start the playoffs with 2,015 points. He was the regular season champion. He had 2 race wins and 6 stage wins. Nathan Harper, 3 points behind him, comes in with 2 race wins, 1 stage win. And Daniel Falkingham sits in third with 2,008 points. And we'll bring this up here when we do get a yellow tonight. Daniel Falkingham, a couple race wins, a couple stage wins. Then it goes Eberhardt's tied. He's got a race win, a couple stage wins. Seipel, Astronaut, Gray all have wins. Dylan Jones, no wins. Kenny McCullough, no wins, but they each have a stage win. Then it goes Josh McCullough, Stephen Miles, Brock Westmoreland, Jared Haynes as they're wrecking here. Wrecking, yellow flag will come out. So a yellow flag here. Nick Seipel involved. Others involved as well. And these are the playoff points that I was referring to. You see Malik Ray there on top, and everything has been reset. Bonus points and penalty points will carry throughout the playoffs, including wins, stage wins, and playoff rounds, except for the championship race, which will be head-to-head. So stage wins, all that stuff, more super important, as is the top 5 in each stage. But there is the starting point standings for the playoffs. And you see Trevor Astronaut went from practically having no chance to make it without a wins, and he is already up there with 2,004 points. So that is your playoff points going into tonight's race. We'll go through the schedule as well. And I'm sorry, kind of missing all the on-track action there. Just trying to get everyone updated with everything we would have done practically when we had gone green. So let's get up here in the Goodyear blimp. And the schedule looks like this. Tonight, obviously, Daytona here in the Xfinity Series car. So how it's going to work is this. There's 2 rounds here in, well, essentially 2 races in round number 1. Next week will be Talladega, and then there'll be an off week. So in order to advance, you're going to have a couple good races here and or win to move on. And if you move on, it'll go to round 2 of the playoffs, which is another couple of races. That'll be on July the 8th and July the 15th. And then if you make it out of that, you go to the Championship 4. And that'll be on July 22nd, as you see all these drivers now coming down pit lane for service. Sunoco Racing Fuel here with 30 laps in of 65. So getting close to that halfway point here tonight. So you have the schedule, you have the playoff updates. Next week we'll try to get all those drivers that are in the playoffs. You'll be able to see them on the top in a different color. We'll get that for you guys here next week once we get these overlays and everything fixed. So bear with us. Like I said, apologies for the power going out. We'll hopefully get back in the groove here of calling this race when we go back green, as Daniel Falkingham will now lead it. And we will take a quick break as we're going to hop back up in the booth with Ron Morris Jr. We'll go up in the Goodyear blimp, and you'll get all the sights and sounds here of Tuesday Night Thunder. Back here live at Daytona International Speedway, and we are getting set to get back in the groove here after a lot of technical difficulties here this evening. And I am going to get in the booth here in just a second with Ron Morris Jr. Hold on. We will be right back here, and we should be good to go the rest of the way. Ron Morris, you got a copy?
Hey, I got you, man. What's going on?
I believe.
Can you hear me?
All right, Ron, I think we have you. My headset's back on. Man, what a heck of a night for me. But we are here. We got back live about 5-6 laps ago, and here we go, Ron. About to go green here with 32 laps in the books here tonight.
Yeah, here we go, back to green. It's been a good race so far. Had a really good first stage. The stage was, we had no wreck, no cautions in the stage. A really, really clean stage. We just had one caution after we got back going. Nick Seipel was leading, and he got that on camera. Him and Malik were lined up a little bit offset, and Nick run up the track a little bit. Oh, Garrett almost gets turned there, and I called it a racing incident. So that's all we've had so far. Almost had one there, but we're good.
Sounds pretty clean, and we're finally clean on my end as well. Got the logos back up here on the feed. Sounds like all the sound now working. Internet's back, power's back, headset's back, and it sounds business as usual here as Daniel Eberhardt III takes the lead here in the tri-oval. Nathan Harper, they are going to be wrecking. Caution's going to fly. A big wreck here. Kyler Wynn involved. Mike Davenport involved as well. Looks like Astronaut's able to fight through it. And yellow flag is out again here on lap number 33. And remember, playoff implications here for all the playoff drivers. We'll get them highlighted for you guys by next week with all the issues we had here tonight with the power going out on me. We will get those playoff drivers highlighted on the top of your screen, but caution has flown again. We'll go back to it there. And it starts with Nathan Harper and Hunter Hastings.
First, I thought Daniel might not have been clear, but he was clear. But we had a checkup from Hastings, and Garrett got in the back of him.
Yeah, Daniel comes to come down. It looks like Hastings probably put on the brakes just a little bit. Was worried about him coming down in front of him. Garrett gets into the 44, has to go up the track, gets into Harper. Harper back down. He's going to door the 44 underneath the yellow line here, and right there you see some more contact. Axel Smith gets into Kyler Wynn, and Mike Davenport involved. The number 8, I believe, in that on the top side. Let's go back because you see that incident up front, and then here comes, I believe, Stephen Miles right behind Axel here. So kind of a chain reaction here. And there you have it. Here comes Axel Smith to the rear of the 82 of Kyler Wynn. And Wynn's got to check up here so he doesn't get into Garrett Maines. Yep. And that's what puts Axel into the rear of the 82. And not intentionally by any means. Stephen Miles a little damaged. And Mike Davenport, man, at the end of this just gets lifted up just a little bit as he has damage to his Tire World Camaro. So a lot of stuff happening here as we get settled back into this race. And
yeah, when I first saw that, I thought it was some type of net code, but then I saw the fire coming out of the pipes at Hastings' car, and he checked up, and Garrett had no choice there but to get in the back of him. Then he got down under the yellow line and just on the track. It's just one of them racing deals. So you got some bad weather rolling through there, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've had power flicker off and on here at this house since we've had it a couple times here and there. It's kind of seems like the street has that happen all the time.
Yeah, if you got some power lines close by that are close together and you get a lot of wind and they touch, it'll trip a breaker, and those things are set where they reset themselves, a few times.
Definitely never happened while I was racing or doing a broadcast. That was weird in the middle of a call, and everything kind of just went black. But glad.
Hey, those are those things we can't control, man.
Yeah, I can't control it. And what really took long is I finally, I got everything back up. But I mean, my internet in the house was working, but for some reason the Ethernet to my PC was not working. It's something about finally diagnosed it. I was able to go into the settings, and sometimes the network adapter needs to be reset, and that was why I wasn't getting internet. And I reset the internet again, thinking the internet was the problem, but I was getting it on my phone. So it was just like a network adapter thing with the Ethernet cord plugged into the PC. So that was the second hiccup. So once we got that rectified, I was able to get back in, I believe, around lap 25. So apologies, like I said, to everyone watching here tonight. Not how we wanted to start round 1 of the playoffs, but hey, nonetheless, we're going to see really good race from here on out, I would assume. And one thing we were, touching on earlier is this man right here, Matthew Baker in the Coasting Thunder number 5. Glad to see him back out on track, Ron. It has been a while. He's out serving the country on deployment. I believe still has at least 3 more months, if not more. So not even barely halfway through, or right around the halfway point of his deployment now.
Yeah, we miss Baker. Glad it is nice to see him back tonight. Doesn't seem like he has the greatest internet over there in Japan, but it is nice to see him back.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Absolutely is. The car looks good. The SummerSlam 499 on the front, and a guy that has a win this season in this series, and obviously got that there in the first few weeks of the new season and before his deployment. So, obviously, if you could have raced this season, you'd for sure see him near the top of that championship standings.
That's right. So speaking of the SummerSlam, you got a date set for it yet?
Yeah, so first weekend of August, you see a coasting Thunder there, but the SummerSlam on the front, sporting the colors. We'll go to those dates right now. So that's going to be August 2nd and August 3rd. And the SummerSlam registration format, all that should be out this coming week on the website. And it should be a similar format to last year. Really not going to be changing too much. We didn't want to make it, draw it out kind of like the PGR 500. We wanted to keep it its own event, short and sweet, 2-day event, and, kind of pack all the racing into a couple days. As Garrett Maines and Daniel Eberhardt come to the Geico restart zone, green flag being shown back into there at Daytona. But we will head to Talladega for the SummerSlam 499. I believe this will be the third annual. First one won by Alex Hill, second one by Malik Ray. The second one, obviously, a lot bigger event than the first one. It really became a staple on the calendar, and looks like we'll be running the Gen 6 cars. Took some votes this past week, and we included the next gen and this B car, which was the car for the 499 a year ago, and also put in the new Gen 4 as well as the Gen 6. And it seems like that Gen 6 is going to get a lot of attention with the changes to the next gen, which has become more, realistic, which is great, but it obviously changes the racing a little bit. So I think a lot more people willing and looking to run that Gen 6 because it's going to be, more of the style drafting that everyone's looking to racing.
I remember running that car a lot when I first started doing this money racing, and it was a really fun car to drive. Kind of an easy car to drive, but makes for good racing. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
I think that's why everybody liked the truck so much. The trucks used to be really easy to drive.
Yeah, I still think this B car is one of my favorite cars, but fortunately, it probably got the least amount of votes. And what? Sometimes you got to go with what the majority wants, and
that's right.
And let everyone let loose. I know the Gen 6, really good driver's car. You can see a lot of action. Hopefully, it's clean though. I think that's my biggest concern is, you got a lot of people that haven't ran that car. And it's definitely a different beast than, like you said, around the trucks and some other ones. But we'll find out. And right now, the beast is being tamed, and that's this pack with a couple cautions of late. But it looks like they are going to ride around a little bit here.
Yeah, I hope so. Still got a long ways to go. So on lap 39, 65. So long ways to go.
Yeah, long ways to go in this one. And we were talking about the schedule as pretty much, a 2-race stint here. 2 races, including tonight. And that will, you'll have to get locked, I'm assuming, into, would it be the top 8 from there?
It'll go to 8. So if you get a win in this race for the next race and you're a playoff driver, you automatically move into the top 8. So the top 8 drivers will all be getting paid. There'll be payouts for everybody that ends up in the top 8. I think even 8th place is like 150, and it goes up. I got it projected at right at 500, which Malik Ray was already the regular season champion, so he got paid for that. So and then we're also doing where everybody outside of the top 8, including people that were outside of the top 16, if they make all 6 playoff races, there's going to be a payout for points for that. So wins don't do anything but count as a point, as points. But whoever accumulates the most points, throughout the playoffs of those non-top 8 drivers, as long as they make all 6 races, there will be a payout for that as well. So looking at something for the championship race to be big payouts, we may increase the entry fee. Of course, none of that money, no championship money will be coming out of that, because we'll already have that set, after the 5 races are done. So that last race probably increase the entry fee a little bit and try to get some really big payouts for that race.
Well, there you heard it. It's Malik Ray, Nathan Harper, Daniel Falkingham, and Daniel Eberhardt III. They all got an edge on everyone else, a little bit more points. We talked about that a little bit earlier on when we had not yet had you, so we went over those playoff point standings. We were able to bring them up on the screen. Garrett Maines now to the lead, as Garrett Maines wasn't able to run the full season this year, so he is out there just trying to win the race, as we are now 3 wide. Matthew Baker in the 3rd lane. He is trying to give Daniel Falkingham a shove here. As action picking up just a little bit here. 3 wide with 2 there on the outside.
Yeah, I'd made a little mistake earlier and gave Nathan Harper credit for the clean driver, and that was actually Mark Bondell was the clean driver. So Mark's got 5 bonus points that will carry throughout the playoffs with him too. So that's a big one for the clean driver. A lot of the guys didn't even remember that was there. But there was a 5-point bonus point for the clean driver, and there's a -5 for the driver with the most incident points per race, which was Kyler Wynn. And that will also carry throughout. So that could be a big player in, making that top 8 or top 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to go through the playoff drivers here and see where they're at here in this field. The top driver coming to the playoffs, that's Malik Ray, your regular season champion. You see him right there, number 1. He's currently in the 10th position. 10th position for Malik Ray, as he carries 2 wins here on the season, a regular season championship, and 6 stage wins. And then we got to go to Nathan Harper, currently sitting in 2nd in the championship standings and 2nd in the race, as he is chasing down the number 1 of Garrett Maines. Nathan Harper, I'll tell you what, Ron, he has been really, really good of late. We have seen that 9 car in the front of not just RMR, but practically anywhere where he races of late, and that's Nathan Harper. In 3rd place in the championship standings, that's going to be Daniel Falkingham, eNASCAR Coke Series driver. You see him there in the 3rd lane out of Jonesport, as he currently sits in about the 8th position. They're falling back just a little bit. That 3rd lane not working. Daniel Eberhardt up here in the top 5, currently in 4th. And he's also, practically tied with Falkingham here. You would say 3rd or 4th in the standings there. And then you got to go to Nick Seipel. Nick Seipel, unfortunately, some struggle here tonight. He's got some damage in the number 75 machine, as he sits in 5th, tied with Trevor Ashburnoff, who we talked about a little bit earlier. He's in 9th, and Ashburnoff ran that walk-off win a week ago.
Oh, yeah. Look for him to try to make some noise, too. He's not going to go out easy.
Absolutely not. Wyatt Gray sits in 3rd here tonight out of Columbus, Ohio. And he sits right behind Ashburnoff in the standings, 2,003 points. Dylan Jones, a playoff driver as well, and Dylan Jones always reliable, as he sits there in his all-white number 11 machine. And he's got 2,001 points. He's tied with this man right here, the 03 of Kenny McCullough Jr. And Kenny doing what he does a lot of the time, sit back, relax, and log some laps, and Kenny will be soon looking to come to the front. And his son, Josh McCullough sits in 17th, and he is going to be right behind his dad in the points. He's tied with a bunch of them. Stephen Miles, Brock Westmoreland, Jared Haynes, Jeff Merck, Mark Bondell. Trouble on the track, it's your champion, or your regular season champion, Malik Ray. And he has damage, he's still getting hit multiple times. More wrecking. That's Dylan Jones, Mike Davenport again, Landon Velicky. And trouble for Malik Ray. And that is a big one with 2 races, including tonight's, to advance to the championship 8. Malik Ray, heavy right front damage. wheel damage, and that might just end his night. And he is going to bank on all those points he racked up during the regular season. And as Ron alluded to, those points and all those stage wins and stage points are super valuable, and Malik Ray is going to be leaning heavily on those here in the next couple weeks as we go back to find out exactly what caused that one. As you see the one up into the wall. And we'll get right here behind Malik with Daniel Falkingham.
It looks like it starts with Eberhardt getting in the back of Maines and getting him just a little bit sideways there.
And here, like Ron said, here comes Garrett. Yep, Daniel Eberhardt pushes Maines up the track. That gets Malik Ray pushed all the way to the wall. Falkingham getting on the brakes. Yeah, and then Hunter Hastings comes up the track. Gets into the Falkingham, who gets into the one, and Malik Ray suffers the most damage. And then watch them wrecking here. They're going to wreck again. Here's Dylan Jones on the bottom. And gets into Landon Velicky, the 62 Nightmare Esports Jack Shack machine. And, yeah, they just cannot come unhooked. Steven Miles delivers a blow to the back of the 11. Here comes Davenport. Gets into the 8 of Miles. And calamity here late in tonight's race. And we go back live, 18 laps to go. Nathan Harper, now your leader, and he could be leading the championship standings after tonight's race. Waiting Ron Morris.
Still reviewing this, guys. Sorry.
Still in review here as the pace car is leading the cars around the track. Big Roost in the chat say, wait, is Baker back? And he is back tonight. Able to race. Had some internet issues, but he is out on the track. And currently in 10th position, Matthew Baker. James Wagner behind him. Wagner is Weldon. Good to see him out here in the number 30. Sitting in the 11th position. Mark Vondell, McCullough Motorsports, in the number 59. And he currently sits just outside the top 10. A lot of big names right now. Chase Mistretta out. Kyler Wynn is out. Jared Haynes out. Steven Miles on pit lane. Malik Ray on pit lane. Logan York. Nick Seipel. I mean, the list just keeps growing. We have Falkingham, who had to take some service there. And a lot going on here in the second part of tonight's race. You had the first stage very clean, as Ron alluded to. As the pace car lights now out on the top, we will go green here next time by. So action, like we said, going to be ramping up here. First playoff race of the season, number 6. And the green flag will wave once again as we come back around. I'll tell you what, they're going to be very, very close on fuel here with 17 to go.
I called it a racing incident. I mean, D3 got into the back of Garrett, pushed Garrett up the track a little bit. I mean, product of the car, I could say Malik wasn't really giving him a lot of room. Malik did kind of get it straightened out, but, you know, by that time, Falkingham was under a bit of a stack up there.
Racing incident, the call here, as we will go green with 16 laps to go as Harper and Garrett Maines, Wyatt Gray, Axel Smith, Daniel Eberhardt, your top 5. Garrett Maines, the number 1. Supporting the blue and white Wigan Water Technologies Toyota. Lennox on the side as well. He also carries those cars, carries those colors not just in the virtual side, but also real life, as he does some road racing. That's Garrett Maines of Sim Seats as well. As here we go. Crowd to their feet here at Daytona under the lights. Always a spectacle. Pace car will dive off onto pit lane. Harper and Maines into the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air.
Well, it looks like Kyler Wynn may have got the worst of that because he disconnected. I didn't go back to see what happened there.
Here we go down the backstretch. 4 to the bottom, 2 there on top. Harper getting a shove here from Wyatt Gray. Nose to tail with Daniel Eberhardt. And now the 89 trying to do it again and go back to back here on Tuesday nights. Astronaut now into the top 5. He is looking for more. Here comes the 99 of John Darnell. A great run here so far. 16, now 15 to go at Daytona.
Yeah, with some of the drivers that we got knocked out, it's going to put a little bit of a twist on the playoff standings now. But like you said, we had a little bit of a big lead for Malik, which he's back out there on the track now. Let's see how good he can keep up here. Yeah, he's lost the lead pack, so must have a lot of damage.
We stay 2 by 2. No third lane right now. These drivers, I believe, could possibly make it on fuel. It's going to be a little tight with that 40% fuel as we go to the tri-oval. Drone cam and all. It's looking good here for Nathan Harper. He has led a lot here tonight, but a lot more race left. The number 90, Eberhardt, he wants to get to victory lane tonight as well for Roughneck Racing. And that team sporting a lot of cars here now up front. John Darnell, Hunter Hastings, James Wagner. He's right around the top 10, so they got some numbers. As Eberhardt has the opening here on the bottom.
Yeah, Wagner's building quite a little team over there. Got some good drivers on there. Guys making a little noise here in the money scene lately. Good to see John Darnell back out here. He's been around for a while, but took a little break for a while. Good to see him though.
$13 to go here. Third lane now getting kicked into gear. We have a couple here on the top. Wagner doing some pushing here. And we'll see if that third lane could gain some steam. Harper back down to the point. Wyatt Gray there in the middle. And the number 20 car, that's Freddie Bazinez.
Freddie Bazinez. Yep. They're making a little bit of ground up there on that top lane. They're not losing any ground. They need one more car up there to help them move along. And, let's see. I thought they could get a little help from I think that's Stephen Miles back there in the 8 car. He decided to stay on the middle lane though. Oh!
And we are wrecking Hunter Hastings.
Up
Involved Dylan Jones against Stephen Miles.
Yeah, that's been a caution.
Caution is out. They're going to be wrecking up front. Davenport, he's around. Axel Smith, Wyatt Gray. Big implications here for Wyatt Gray. Oh, my God. And this is the second time now in a row we have seen a wreck pretty much after the yellow flag. Lots to digest here with just 12 to go now. So caution out again here. And we have 2 incidents here to look at. And
yeah, I'm trying to figure out what was the original incident. It started with the 55 and the 44.
it's going to start back here with Hunter Hastings. We're going to get in the chopper camera.
Yeah, it looks like Davenport's pushing him. He goes up the track, and then he comes back down the track. Just kind of hooks himself there.
We'll look at it in slow motion here. Davenport, yep, he's going to get into Hastings here. Turn Hastings. Hastings going to try to correct. Go up the track. He's going to get right in front of Bazinez. Hit the wall right there, Hunter Hastings. And let's see what happens after that. Bazinez has no room. He comes up, slides into Hastings again. Here comes Veliky. Ooh, Dylan Jones behind them. And then I believe it was Davenport again. He's been all around it here tonight. And watch here as Davenport comes down, gets into Kenny McCullough, shoots up the racetrack, gets into Axel Smith. And this was after the yellow was already thrown. Axel into the wall. Here comes Gray. He gets turned. Comes down the racetrack. And I believe Mark Vondell, not sure if he's able to slow here. Wyatt Gray, yeah, just goes through the grass. Heavy on the brakes here. Mark Vondell trying to stay off of him. Not sure that he can. And, yeah, he can't. Rear end damage there to the 18. Playoff driver Wyatt Gray with a race win this season.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that bad if we hadn't had that second part of that wreck.
And, you know, Ron, what's crazy is, I mean, the last 2 cautions, we've had practically a second part to both of them after the yellow flag. So not something you normally see, but that's been the couple times now. And now look at the top of the leaderboard. It's the 90 Eberhardt. Here comes Astronaut. Can he go back-to-back? And, man, he would definitely be a contender here to win the championship. As he, you know, sometimes you just got to get hot at the right time. And the Jack Shack's number 89 right now looking stout here under the lights, but still got a lot of good cars around him. Long way to go here. 10 laps to go. We'll go green with just 8 laps to go.
Yeah, I've been calling most of these tonight like that, racing incidents. So, you know, I almost got to call it the same way. I just don't like what happened kind of after the fact. It looked like maybe Wyatt checked up because the caution came out and Garrett got into the back of him. I don't know what you saw there. Kind of caused that second part of that wreck.
Yeah, interesting there. I know Davenport kind of been around all the incidents here tonight, but he's still out there here in the top 10, it looks like. So it's just the crazy second part of this race, and had that calm first stage, and you get to this now, you know, with all the stuff on the line. I mean, we've seen it here in RMR now, 6 seasons into it, and we've seen a lot of drama in the championship playoffs over the years, and some I'm sure, Ron, you have had headaches about before, but you know, these drivers, obviously a lot on the line when you get to this point. Carl Haynes in the chat. Man, we're gonna have to hide Ron Morris from the chat here tonight. These guys getting on Ron, but it's all fun and games.
I don't care.
Here. Ron doesn't
don't bother
care.
Me.
Ron will drink a beer for every time someone makes a comment. And we'll have a good old night. We'll go shoot some pool.
That's right. I don't care. They can come do race control if they want to. they think they can do a better job. How about that?
Green flag back into there with 8 laps to go, and I'll tell you one guy getting racy. It's the 99 of John Darnell. When's the last time we've seen him in the front of the pack? Sporting the Wagoneers welding on the front hood. Can John Darnell spoil the party of all these playoff drivers? Get to victory lane. He's all over here in the front on the nose of Nathan Harper. 2 by 2 down the backstretch we go. He's going to have to hold it straighter here as Harper's getting... Yeah, Harper's going to go to the middle lane. He's had enough. John Darnell, a spot he has not been in quite some time. As he gets his bearings here in the front, John Darnell looking for the biggest upset here of the week. We'll see if he can keep that 99 for here up front. Now Astronaut working on the back bumper of the 99. Harper here. He's got Eberhardt behind him. And we'll see if a third lane forms or not.
Well, Kenny got forced up there in the third lane, so if the third lane forms up there, it's not really by choice, but he does have some help behind with Josh. But
yeah, Seipel was helping that. He goes back down to the middle. As we stay up front here, Darnell still leads the bottom. Here comes the third now. You got Daniel Falkingham leading the third. 2 MMS drivers, and we'll see now if that third lane can finally work itself to the front of the pack.
Got Landon Velke up here. We hadn't really talked about him much, but on strong run for him. He's up here running in the top 5, top 6. Seipel, a little bit of damage, but apparently he got it fixed, and he got a fast car, so he's back. Now we got those 3 lines going.
I think he agree to disagree just a little bit. I think when you get these, to me, this is the big leads here, big leagues of RMR PGR. It's a little bit different, you know. You get in these leagues, and yeah, there's some good drivers, but I mean, here you get the Racing NASCAR Coke Series drivers, and not only that, we got guys in these money races on these super speedways just as good, if not better, than some of these NASCAR guys. And I mean, I know for myself, I felt it being up front leading races. Obviously, we've known my history in PGR on Thursdays, just not being able to get the job done. You definitely feel a different way when you get to the front of these fields in these big-time money races. You know, there's only a handful of ones that everyone wants to win, this being one of them. And John Darnell has the talent to do it. We'll see if he can get by Harper now. Harper is in front, but Darnell has a great pusher of Astronaut behind him. With 5 laps to go, it's anyone's race here at the front. Here comes Jeff Merck. Jeff Merck from absolutely nowhere. He now leads that third lane.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned Merck much tonight, but here he is getting a good push from Falkingham. So we got some of the best pushers in the business there. Kenny gets up at the wall a little bit. That's going to kill that lane. It's going to hurt that outside lane a little bit.
Yeah, Harper out to the bottom. Darnell's still in a really good spot as long as Eberhardt doesn't clear, but it looks like, well, no, he's not clear anymore. Velke now. Landon Velke out of absolutely nowhere. Out of Lake Martin, Alabama in the 62, racing with Jack Shack right now. And Velke out of, I mean, I don't know. He has not been up front here until now. So, you know, it doesn't matter when you do it. As long as you get there. Velke now. Get himself a really good look here to win tonight. And fortunately for him, this one is broadcasted. And he's had some bad luck, good and bad luck in the past. Good luck winning the race. Bad luck not being broadcasted. We'll see if the 62 can get to victory lane. Darnell still working all over the back bumper of Harper.
Darnell slipped up a little bit, caused a little trouble there. But he's, you know, you said it earlier, he don't want to get buried back 3 deep. So he's going to push to his heart's content just to make sure that Eberhardt doesn't clear Harper. Because once you let that car clear, you push back to third, you almost don't have a chance then. So he wants to keep Harper clear, and then now he wants Harper to clear, so he's leading that inside line.
3 by 3. Here comes that third lane. Nick Seipel leads it in the number 75. Merck behind him. Darnell still has a shot here on the bottom. Astronaut, though, turns Darnell off the racetrack. And Darnell into the grass, and that will most likely end his bid at winning tonight's race. As Darnell goes for a ride, gets back on the track, and all these cars now 3 wide. We're going to have a big one. Kenny McCullough into the wall. Here goes Jeff Merck. Jeff Merck, is he going to save it? Not sure. Josh McCullough. Yellow flag is out. We're heading to an NASCAR overtime. Damage for the rear of Jeff Merck. And we saw that one brewing there. Hornet's Nest in the middle of the racetrack. Yellow flag out will put us into overtime here tonight. Let's go back and watch this one.
Yeah, if you see there, Eberhart goes down, starts to go down. He's following Harper there.
Looks like
he decides he doesn't want to go down.
I'm looking at Jeff Merck. I'm gonna try to get the view from Kenny McCullough here. See if we can get a far chase. Kind of look to see what happened with Merck. Merck's following Seipel's out of control. Merck's trying to follow him, and he backs himself up into the wall. Comes down into Jones and Veliky. Brings Kenny McCullough with him. Now we're, nearly 4 wide here. And this just isn't going to work. You see Garrett Maines trying to get back onto the racing surface. McCullough's going up as Merck's coming down. And the 03 ends up getting into Jeff Merck. And I think it's a lot to do with what happened up in front. And there goes
the whole
Josh
thing started with the 62 and the 90.
Yep, absolutely. Everything starts up front and definitely affects everyone behind. We've seen it all the time here, and let's watch what happens up front. Veliky gets to the back bumper of the 90. Harper's offset a little bit, and that offsets Veliky just to the right side of the 90. I mean, they're practically all 3 of them offset. Veliky looks to go mid. There's nowhere to go. The 90 comes up the block. It's just a little bit just hard racing, and it's very hard to make calls like that. This is just everyone racing for just the Daytona's not as wide as Talladega, not as much real estate here, and all that stuff up there is really what affects everyone here on back. So, and there was what brought out the caution right here, and well, we'll have it. We'll have a green-white checkered finish here tonight, and we have 3 attempts if we need them. We'll see if we can make it 1, though. Eberhart, Harper here at the top, Seipel, Astronaut, all playoff drivers looking to make a splash here, advance to the next round.
Yeah, I hate calling these racing incidents, but, I mean, it's hard to put that on anybody. Like you said, run out of real estate a little bit there. It's funny because whenever I make those calls and then I get to talking to everybody after the race and I'm like, who would you put that on? And I get 4 different answers. When you get more than one answer, that tells me you made the right call when you call a racing incident, right?
Sorry, Ron, just checking out something over here. A lot of action here in the chat tonight with all the incidents here on the track. Just getting a couple laughs in here.
Yeah, what I was saying is I hate to make racing incident calls, but whenever I do and I go in there and I'm talking to the racers and I'm like, all right, how would you have called that? I get 3 different answers. That tells me that I must have made the right call. Because they're all opinionated when you get 3 different answers on who it should have been on. I mean,
Yeah, it's been like that since day one. You're going to have a group of people on one side, a group of people on the other, and that's just life. And unfortunately,
that's right.
It's not everyone. Sometimes everyone agrees on stuff that happens on the track, but there are a lot of calls that are made across all promotions that, you could really look at as being, hey, I see it this way. Oh, but hey, I can see it this way as well. So it just depends whose opinion. Sometimes, it is an opinion, and you got to make the best call, the best of your ability here, and that's all you can do. And right now, all these drivers can do is try to hang on and get their car to the checkered line here tonight. It's been a rough one for most. A lot of good drivers here tonight having issues.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, when we're sitting here in iRacing, you're sitting in your living room or whatever, and it's a lot different than when you're out there driving a stock car, and you know that if you make a bad move, you could hurt yourself or kill yourself. These guys don't have that risk, so people take a lot more chances on here than they would in real life. So it makes our job a lot harder as far as making calls. So, it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast, right?
Absolutely. And here we go. Green, white, checkered overtime here on Tuesday night. If we take the white flag, this one will be official. Harper, Eberhardt here in the front. Both playoff drivers, as is Ashwinoff and Seipel. Garrett Maines trying to crash the party. Dylan Jones, Velke, Falkingham, Miles, Vondell. That's your top 10. Green flag in the air. Tuesday Night Thunder playoff week 1 here in season number 6.
Yeah, the inside lane got a good little jump, but the outside lane's got numbers, so look for them guys to be able to go back around on the outside. But we got a lot of people dropping down, so it might not happen.
2x2 down the backstretch. No third lane as of now. Some damaged cars out back. Harper in a drag race with D3. For all the marbles here as we get closer to that white flag. Harper out front. Seipel, the pusher. White flag in the air. This one's official.
Hallelujah.
Final lap. Who's going to book themselves a spot in the Championship 8? Harper's going to control the race here, as he will have to make his move down the backstretch if he wants it. So far, he does not. D3's got a shot with Ashwinoff pushing. We stay 2x2. D3 now powers forward. He's not clear of the 9. He comes down in front. Man. He's going to wreck the entire field. Everyone wrecking up front. D3 was not clear. Out of Falkingham, out of absolutely nowhere. Can he hold off Stephen Miles? Miles looks high. Daniel Falkingham wins it at Daytona. An unbelievable finish on the last lap, and Nathan Harper cannot be too happy right now with Daniel Eberhardt. As Eberhardt not clear in my vantage point. We'll have to look at the replay. But wow, the entire field up front gets cleaned out on the last lap. Falkingham escapes, as does Miles. Mark Vondell, a third place finish. Velke, Davenport, your top 5. Wagner up there in 6th. Unbelievable here. And we got to go right back to the replay of that, because that was a massive, massive incident.
Yeah, Daniel was not quite clear there, and Harper did not lift at all, which you can't blame him,
All right, let's take a look at this. This was coming into turn number 3. And we'll get a really good viewpoint here of the incident on the last lap that, man, changed everything here tonight. And, man, it was fortune for your winner, Daniel Falkingham. And we'll see D3 here and see if he had a look here to come down. He does get a great push from Astronaut here. And he looks to be clear at this point. And I think he just made the move maybe a little bit too slow. We'll see if we get a different angle. Here's a good angle. Yeah, maybe, not clear enough. Just needed just a little bit more space. And, you can't expect Nathan Harper to lift in that position. And I'm sure Daniel Eberhardt wants that one back. There goes Harper, Eberhardt. There goes Astronaut involved. He's still able to take 7th. Dylan Jones involved. There goes Seipel. I mean, Seipel was looking good there. Finishes in 20th. He's up and over. Wagner is getting involved. He's going to actually save it here in the middle. He comes up with the 6th place finish. I mean, just a chaotic last lap there. And I got to disagree, unfortunately, with Heath again. You're on the bottom lane there, and the guy's not clear above. You ain't lifting there, and you got to be 100% clear, at least in my opinion, to come down to make that block. And we've seen it over the last few weeks get called in other promotions. You got to try to make sure you're clear.
Yeah, I know it's last lap, you ain't you're not gonna lift.
Yeah, you can't lift. And like Daniel too, you're trying to make the move to win the race. I mean, this is racing, and we all sit up here, whether we're in the booth or RCs or all of us that race, and look at all these moves. But it's nothing that real life. Same stuff happens in real life. We've seen it at Daytona and Talladega for how many years now? You're trying to win the race. Daniel Eberhardt's making a move to try to win the race. Yep, he makes a slight mistake. Oh, so be it. Harper isn't expecting, somebody to come down if they're not clear. He's not going to get out of the gas because then he's going to check up that whole line, possibly get rear-ended and wreck. So it's racing, and we had a race, and the winner of that race, Daniel Falkingham, an unbelievable end to his night here. As we will get a word here with your top 3.
Yeah, I don't know your thoughts there. If he stays up, he still maybe wins the race. I mean, I know Daytona, the bottom line's a little more preferable than it is at Talladega, but at least stays up there a little bit longer. Anyway, good win.
Amongst all this, Ron, here's what's crazy. We're going to bring him up. It's Mark Vondel, the number 59. You got to copy.
Mark.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Well, how are you doing, man? What on
that
earth
was freaking wild, wasn't it? That was
wild. Wild is an understatement. I mean, you tell us. Walk us through that last lap, and how'd you get the 3rd place here tonight?
Well, on the restart, I was behind Daniel on top. I was 10th, and Daniel was in front of me, and I told Kenny, I said, I'm going to follow Daniel no matter where he goes. But then after the first lap, when we got to the white flag, Daniel was high, and I decided to go low in case something happened so I could get by like I did. And it just worked out for me.
Well, it sure did work out for the number 59 here tonight, Mark. And I'll tell you what, man, it's crazy finishes here, a crazy leaderboard, a lot of comers and goers, some big names there on the back, but some really good names here in the top 10 tonight, but none better than you here in 3rd place. Walk us through not just the end there, but your entire race here tonight.
Well, I decided to play it safe. I'm a points racer. I'm not really a top cashing guy all the time. So this is new to me, but I try to be smart about the way I race, and I actually try to save my car, cause as less incidents as I can. I just happened to get through. I had 12X, but I didn't have any damage the whole race. And I just try to keep my car clean and get to the front in the last 15, 20 laps, and it just happened to work out right tonight.
Well, it worked out with a 3rd place finish, a payday here for Mark Vondel, and that hopefully springboards you here the rest of the week and try to get another top 3 here this week, Mark, and that'd be That'd be something, but we appreciate you joining us here in the booth. Anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Well, Mark, hey, let me chime
Yeah.
in. Mark's also got those 5 bonus points that are going to carry with him for clean driver, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to help him out a lot there for points. So good
Yeah,
job.
that did help 100%. I appreciate that.
Good job, Mark. Love to see you. Love to hear you in the booth, man. Like to
Thanks,
see you
Ron.
on the podium.
I'm not here much, but I enjoy it. And I love you guys. So
That's right, man.
I want to thank number one. I want to thank Ron for putting this on. This is a super series. I love it. I like the point racing because that's kind of what I am. I'm not a speed guy, but I want to thank Michael and PGR. You guys are just amazing. You've done everything, and I can't say enough about you guys, you and Baker, and whoever else is with you, your announcers, your broadcast team. And of course Kenny, my teammates, Kenny McCullough and Josh. Ron's one of them, but he's not racing here. But I want to thank all those guys too because they make it happen. I'm here for the friendship, and I love my team. Well, I guess that's it.
All good there, Mark. We appreciate you. Hopefully we're talking to you again soon. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Michael. Thanks. Take care, guys.
Yeah, I got somebody in the chat saying he passed below the yellow line, but I went back and looked, and I believe the rule
was
always.
The yellow line. He got forced down there.
Exactly. Yeah, when you're avoiding a wreck, and you're practically essentially forced to where you have to go. So I believe that would be a no call per the rule book, and Mark Fundell will keep that third place finish here tonight. And man, another man kind of snuck here into the top 2 in the podium here tonight. That's going to be Steven Miles. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy. How y'all doing?
Man, we are doing great. I mean, it was a wild one. Early in the going, it was kind of chilled out racing, clean for a stage there, and then kind of action-packed the rest of the way as we assumed it would be as the playoffs obviously underway, action ramping up, and all those points and, positions, final, results here obviously play a big factor in moving on in those playoffs. And Miles, out of nowhere on that last lap, that 8 machine somehow gets the P2.
Yeah, it was some good racing at the beginning of the race, and it kind of had us all fooled there for a little bit. Trying to take it to the third and make some track position up a couple times, but realized if I probably did that, I probably would have caused a wreck because the middle line kept drifting up or whatever. So I think we was caught up in like 2 or 3 wrecks tonight. Got all the damage fixed. Feel bad for Nick Sipple, man. He got 10 minutes done, and he was able to get back up there and fight for the win. But with me right there at the end, it was trying to go somewhere with the momentum, and either way, it felt like either line it kept bogging down when I entered inside of it. So right there, I just went with D3 Falkenham, and we're trying to see if we could go third or something right there. And by the time you know it, D3 wrecked, and I mean, we wasn't lifting. I see Falkenham go somewhere, so I just followed him without lifting, hoping that, I could miss it or, phase through it, and which I was. And unfortunately, I had a lot of speed to go to the third, and he threw a good block on me and kept my momentum right there. And by the time you know it, I was just like, P2 or P3 have been good, and we just finished where we finished. Well,
finishing in that second spot here tonight. Obviously a really good payday, and you see, I mean, look like coming to that line, you're gonna have a shot there. You kind of try to get around Daniel Falkingham. Was there anything more you could do there to try to get that top spot?
No, because I was behind him when I had to run. I went third. He threw a block, took my momentum, and I'm pretty sure Gary Maines and Landon was below me 3 wide. So regardless, I think they wrecked too, so I didn't have no draft help, and I don't know how much damage I had. So that's all I could have done, and I'm happy with it.
Well, happy you are as you come into the race, obviously in the playoffs, but at that 2,000 point, which was the baseline standard, no race wins, no stage wins, no extra points here. But, I mean, really, you needed to come in and have a really good finish, and that'll springboard you here to next week, which will ultimately be a race to advance into the top 8. So great job here tonight. Great points night. It's what you needed. And we'll see you out here next Tuesday night as you try to pilot that pilot number 8 to victory lane. Stephen Miles, before we let you go, anyone you'll thank or shout out?
Shout out you, man, for doing an awesome broadcast. I know it had some technical difficulties, but you made it work. And shout out Ron for putting on this awesome league, and he do the best he can to call the right calls and keep everybody happy. Shout out my mom, my dad, my girl, my teammates. We had a somewhat bad night tonight. Hopefully we can all bounce back. And most of all, man, shout out to God for giving us this opportunity to do this stuff, man. That'll be it.
All right, Steven. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a good night celebrating that P2.
You too.
All right, Ron. Well, hey, we'll let Ron Morris Jr. take the top spot here tonight. And that's going to go to Daniel Falkingham, the number 39 eNASCAR Coke Series driver. Does it from out of nowhere here tonight. Ron Morris Jr. is with him.
Hey, Dan. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Ron, I am doing way better than I was probably like 10 minutes ago. So it's not often I win them that way, but we'll take them any way we can get them.
Man, heck yeah, that puts you in the, automatically in the top 8. So there's that pressure off. But talk about a race. I mean, it started out really, really clean. Looked like I have a green flag race other than the stage, and that changed quickly. But talk us through the race a little bit.
Yeah, race went pretty good. First stage was straightforward. I wish I won that freaking stage. Me and Garrett ended in a tie, and he barely got it. But now, more importantly, we got some good points out of the stage right there in case like we weren't able to get the win, that we could just rely on points. But thankfully, yeah, just the race was pretty much straightforward, and then it really changed when I decided to pit from the lead to top off and get extra gas because it was really tight to make it on a one-stop. And I want to take that a little extra bit of fuel to see if it would help me out, and in the end, it really didn't. So I kind of just buried myself in the back of the field. And then we got caught up in a wreck where I got a lot of nose damage, had to fix that, got that all fixed. And then thankfully, that's where all the chaos was happening. Then I was just trying to just navigate my way through, working with Landon to get back up through there. And I'm glad he was able to finish up where he did because we kind of tried to work together to get back to where we were. But yeah, then just avoiding the chaos on the GWC, them all wrecking right in front of me. I had a lot of things go right because Eberhard, if he didn't get hit one way, if people didn't get hit another way, we would probably been involved in that last lap wreck. But like I said, it's not often I win them that way, but I'll take them when I can get them. We're locked into the round of 8, and yeah, I guess I forgot it was when you're in. So
that's right.
That's awesome. We'll definitely take it.
Well, tell me. I mean, this car right here was my favorite car, but I mean, I don't. What do you think? I think iRacing's maybe messed it up a little bit.
I've always been a big time B car hater. Like I just don't really like the way it I mean, the racing is okay, but it's easy to get gridlock when you get a lot of people that know what they're doing. But also like the way you push people, you're sometimes going through people's bumpers. You get random net code. You shouldn't be having to deal with that. But yeah, right. I don't know. Just not a big.
I mean, it's like a lot of. I mean, people hate it when I call racing incidents, but whenever I see people and they're not really like offset pushing that much, and it gets the other car sideways, I can't really put that on a guy because he's not really doing anything wrong to cause that wreck. You know,
yeah,
so
that's all.
You know, I know I did call a lot of racing incidents, but that's the way I saw them. So, but
well, to be fair, there was a lot of netcode just in general tonight. Now I don't know if it's just the way this version of Daytona, like running at night, just caused a lot of the netcode because we already know like the B car does have a lot of netcode issues with it anyway. Sometimes with the truck as well, but. I don't know, it was just a rough night in terms of netcode because it seems like you really couldn't pinch a lot of people. I know I got sent into the fence once when I was trying to go 3 wide by somebody, but I think that was just netcode from the guy underneath him. So, yeah, it was just really it was really hard to run close quarters with people. But I don't know if that's just a track thing or unless that's just how it is. But just unfortunate because, like, when we can get 3x3x3 puts on a pretty good show, but it's just really hard to do that, especially with this car at this track for whatever reason. But, yeah, I mean, you're going to get that. You're going to get all that netcode, unfortunately.
Well, you know what the old saying is, sometimes better be lucky than good. So I know you're good, but you got a little lucky tonight. So congrats, man. Good job. Shout out to all you people, all you peeps.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I said, I always I don't win them too often that way, but I'll take the luck whenever I can get it. But yeah, just thank you for putting this on. Thank you to Mike for putting on the broadcast. Thanks to everyone watching. Thanks to everyone who comes on and races. Shout out also to Garrett, Nathan. Shout out to Wyatt as well, and also Baker. Baker's back. He was back tonight, so it was good to have like another guy with us and whatnot. But appreciate all those guys getting to work with them. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, brother. Well, good job, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again before the season's over, man.
Heck yeah, we'll see you next week.
Hey, man, have a good night.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Ron.
All right, well, there you heard from the man tonight advancing to the next round of the playoffs, and what a win it was for Daniel Falkingham. As, like Ron said, sometimes it'd be better lucky than good, and he is both, especially here tonight. So, hey, we got those results pulled up here, Ron. Daniel Falkingham, the man on top of the pylon at Daytona. Stephen Miles in second. Mark Vondell rounds out your podium. Landon Velicki in fourth. Mike Davenport fifth. James Wagner in sixth. Trevin Ashmanoff seventh. Nathan Harper in eighth. Dylan Jones in ninth. And rounding out your top 10, Wyatt Gray.
We had a little return here from Logan York. I'm in 11th. Hunter Hastings 12th. We got Jeff Merrick after a strong run, ended up 13th. Malik Ray back to 14th. Kenny McCullough up front towards the end and ends up 15th. Josh McCullough 16th. Freddie Bassinez ended up 17th. We got John Darnell 18th. Strong run from John tonight. Garrett Maines, we all saw what happened there, 19th. And then Nick Seipel ends up in 20th. I think he finished the race on his roof.
Yeah, and Daniel Eberhardt finished as well, wrecked. Man, he was so close to being clear, and he went for it. You can't fault him there. He's trying to win tonight's race, and I think he'd want it back, though, just with the playoff picture and everything. We'll see if Daniel Eberhardt can rebound a week from tonight. Jared Haynes finishes in 22nd for the Jack Shack. Axel Smith, 23rd. Brock Westmoreland, 24th. Matthew Baker returns to the track and finishes in 25th. Kyler Wynn in 26th, and rounding out your 27-car field here tonight. That'll be none other than Chase Mistretta. So that is your results here tonight. Ron Morris will update those playoff standings. You'll have them tomorrow night in the Discord, and we'll be right back with you guys here in a week from tonight for RMR Tuesday Night Thunder. It'll be playoff week number 2, and man, it's only going to ramp up that night as we will have 8 of the top 16 advance to the next round. We'll also be with you again tomorrow night for RNR's Championship Series with only 2 races to go till we crown a champion on over there. So a lot of racing here to be had this week. We also want to send thoughts and prayers to Danny Barnes' son, who had lost his house in a fire. There's a GoFundMe going around the Discord's a link there to send some money over Danny Barnes' way for his son, and obviously anything that happens to community members and or their families. We're always here to throw your support, so make sure you look for that link and donate if you can. We'd appreciate it. For myself, Michael Triscaro, Ron Morris Jr., PGR eSports here. We'll see you all soon. Thank you.